Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Welcome back.
You start, Terrance.
All right. Welcome back to the Heroic Origins podcast. I'm Terrance.
And I'm Dave. And on this episode of the Heroic Origins podcast, we're in story mode.
We'll be outlining a 6-issue story arc using our most recent characters.
We'll randomly choose story elements from each issue, then see where they take our intrepid protagonist.
Each issue will get a 5-minute brainstorming period, plus a 5-minute revision period. And at the end, now get ready.
It's collaborating time. Okay, but before we get started, we should review our most recently created character. Terrance, why don't you start us off?
I will tell you about David Daigo. He was just your average Japanese-American U.S. Marshal dedicated to the pursuit of justice.
Then a cop from the future revealed to him that his family was impossible and his existence a temporal anomaly.
Upon the future cop's death, Marshal Daigo took the officer's sword and now slices his way from parallel timeline to parallel timeline in search of answers.
David Daigo is the Time Blade.
Like
all right.
Fruit Ninja.
Well, that's like, you've got it absolutely right. All right, let's get our outline up here. So, all right, and let's see. Do we have our timer? We should get our timer set up too.
Timer set up as well.
It'll be a 5-minute timer. One thing we need to do is we need to pick our random elements for the first issue. And the first random plot element is... I can't remember. Did I do all this ahead of time last time?
I thought that you had... I don't know. I honestly don't remember.
Well, that's what we get for not watching our own episodes.
I did watch the last one.
Yes.
For once.
Oh well, it's all just okay. So okay, folks. So here we go. We got some random elements that we're working with. The random plot element is a situation was resolved by forces beyond the character's control. By the way, this is taken from the Heroic Origins story element randomizer. We need to come up with 3,000. We need to come up with a term for this thing. So it's actually a game. It's actually from a game that I made up years ago called Publish and Perish, which has not been published, but it hasn't perished yet. And these are some story elements that it's a storytelling game. So we've been appropriating it for our podcast here. But okay, so we've got our first plot element is a situation is resolved by forces beyond the character's control. Character element, introduce a family member, and setting element, insert a character's home into the story. I think that's good stuff to work with. Why don't we start the clock?
Are we? Well, oh God, I don't remember enough about this character, but here we go.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Family member. Is his family still alive? Like, that's what I was like.
Well, this is I guess we got to decide here. Are we... Okay, because we know that the origin of the story, because the origin, the story the time cop tells him that his parents can't exist.
Right, and that's where I was like, wait, his family, but in our outline of him, his parents are simulacrums. He has a rancher girlfriend, and he has deputies as supporting characters. So those are the
okay, this is good. You actually pulled up that.
Yeah, these are the aspects already existing in his world.
So I mean, what's this first issue? If it's not the origin story, which I know you don't like to start with the origin story, is I guess the question in my mind is the time cop still alive, or have we already gotten past
this? Is the perfect setup for like that origin story where a situation resolved by forces beyond his control. whatever
Yep.
was coming after him is killed by the time cop, and that's the start of Time Blade because he's got the Time Blade then.
Well, then do we want to? Well, but is that well? So where are we starting in the story? Is it before the time cop has come, or after the time cops come?
Well, a situation resolved by the time cop, a character's home, like at his home with
This is
his
a
fake
natural origin
parents.
story.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
okay.
this is like the perfect setup for this character's origin story.
Well, then we'll
That
just
is
say it's
the
the
origin.
origin story. So we're gonna
Yes.
say so it's okay. So he's a U.S. Marshal. What's he start off working on? What's the thing that he's working on to begin with? He's chasing a criminal.
Is he? Well,
Is
but
he
is this
hunting
gonna?
down a criminal across the United States? What's he doing?
Because how? And the question is, how does he come across the? Is it somebody trying to kill him? I still don't know what the inciting incident happens. That is it. Someone trying to kill him. Somebody trying to kill his parents. Somebody
Well, there's a mystery
trying to
to it.
save someone. Yeah. So I guess the whole thing is what is the thing? Is there a fugitive? Is there, you know, does he stop
Well,
this time cop actually maybe from killing the guy? And the guy's like, you shouldn't exist. Like
well, I
this
think one thing we should.
because you shouldn't
Okay, I think the natural thing is this. Okay, let me just plot this out here real quick. Um, but the natural thing is this: he and his deputies they're doing the Tommy Lee Jones thing from The Fugitive, right? They're chasing down a fugitive. That's what U.S. Marshals do,
It wasn't me,
right?
it was a one-armed man. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And so they're chasing down this fugitive, but while they're chasing down the fugitive, they think they've got the fugitive cornered. The fugitive is actually killed by some time, anomaly or something. Did you just flip us?
Yes, I did. Because I'm looking at in the wrong direction.
Okay, yeah, yeah, no, I understand. So they're chasing down the fugitive while they have them cornered in some cabin somewhere in Oregon. Um, there's a big, some sort of time beast appears, or a beast, some sort of creature, some sort of
Okay.
anomalous creature sort of appears, or some sort of anomalous thing goes on. But we realize that it's conscious, it's paranormal, it's something conscious. It's like something's going on, and that's when the time cop appears and tells him it's like this is so that's okay. That's what's going on. They get to a cabin in Oregon or Texas or wherever we want it to be, and there's a bunch of weird time stuff going on, and and they're running through a bunch of like paradoxical situations, and they're getting confused about what's going on while they're trying to capture this criminal, and it turns out that it's some sort of living time creature that is trying to kill him or wipe him out, take him from the time,
Mhm.
line. And that's when the time cop comes in, slices this time creature, and 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 introduces himself as, and says, "You're not supposed to be here." That's like the last line of the issue or something.
Okay.
He slays this time, so it's a personified creature of time. Maybe it's the time tree. No,
I, uh,
we got 25 seconds left.
I don't know. Could it, instead of it being a time creature, be a organization of people? Correct, like you're like just other time actors.
That's fine, but are they in this cabin? Do we still keep the cabin? They're
Well,
manipulate
is
like
that
they
his
show up. They
home?
pretend to be FBI, but they're not. What are we doing?
Well, my question was: is that his home? Wherever his home is, like, is that the cabin?
Oh, that would be kind of weird. Oh, that actually be kind of interesting if the
Well, it's
that.
supposed to be the character's home in the story. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay. Well, let's say it's an old. It's okay. The fugitive coincidentally, but turns out later to not be a coincidence, runs to one of his old properties, like his childhood home.
okay. Oh, you know what? We could go back into. Well, he would be too young, I guess. The whole internment camp thing that
No,
we
no,
had.
no, no. We don't go into that. Not this issue. Not this issue. Okay, so okay, we
I'm just
cheated a
saying.
little bit here. We cheated a little bit. Okay, but Marshall, Daigo, and crew chase a fugitive to um, David's childhood home.
What if it's just like a What if it's just like the family ranch or something like that?
Childhood family ranch.
Like it's not like a winter home, but like people have like these vacation homes that are out in the middle of like places. Yeah.
Uh, well, is it currently his? Well, yeah, we got to just decide here. Say it's a family. We can deal with details later.
We could
But
just
is
call
it
it a family ranch. It doesn't need
okay?
to. Yeah.
To David's family ranch. Okay.
'Cause, yeah. No, people actually own like farmland and stuff and ranches and stuff, but don't live there. They have people that manage this properties for them.
So, to David's family ranch, seemingly coincidentally, um, and so what? There are these time agents that are there trying to screw. Well, do you like the idea of them dealing with a bunch of time anomalies here?
Well, that the like say the fugitive. It's just like instead of it being, I like the time anomalies. Yes, yes. That
Okay,
there's all this funky time stuff going on. That makes it, yeah. And then it's resolved by the time cop. But it's like instead of it being like a fundamental creature of time that's
yeah,
just
okay,
other people messing with time. You
okay.
know.
But are those people actually there, or are we just saying it's a time anomalies that ultimately are that the time cop appears and takes them out of it?
So you're saying that the fugitive doesn't exist?
No, the fugitive does exist, but is he the time agent?
No, no. I thought that there was a real fugitive.
No, there is a real fugitive.
Okay,
They're trying to hunt down the fugitive, but once they get to the ranch, there's all these time anomalies going on.
right, right.
But you were saying there's a bunch of time agents that are screwing with them, or is it just the time
No, no.
anomaly?
That the fugitive isn't a function of the universe, but just another person who's screwing with time from some organization or group or whatever.
Oh, you want the fugitive to be it? You see, I was suggesting there was a time creature that was at the ranch, but the fugitive was just a regular fugitive.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying the fugitive was this time creature.
No, no.
Okay, okay. That's different then. That's completely different than what I was hearing. Okay.
Well, let's take the
Oh,
creatures and
oh,
the
oh,
agents.
oh, oh,
Let's
I see what you're saying. Yes, I like your idea more. Yes. There's a time creature that's then screwing up all the time stuff, and the fugitive is just a fugitive who stumbles upon it. But then why does the fugitive end up there seemingly coincidentally?
because the time creature's manipulating time in space. Uh, by a time creature. Um, time cop arrives and kills the time creature. Okay, but that's it. The time creature then says, David Daigo, you don't belong here. Something like that. Okay, fine. That was way overtime on that one. Okay, let's
But
move. Let's move.
we got that. It was just putting it on paper. That
That's right. Okay.
I think.
Okay, so let's get some random elements here for the next part here. Okay. Move down here. Okay, for the plot point. There is a revelation. Hey, these are intentionally vague.
Revelation.
Character element. Someone has a change of heart. Oh, this one's more interesting. Insert a place of worship into the story.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Hit the clock.
All right.
So, okay, this is kind of well, if okay, so we've got the time cop here. Okay, well, first off, what goes on with the fugitive? Is the fugitive captured? Was the fugitive killed? Was the fugitive like totally put into like some sort of displaced phase of time where it's kind of bouncing back and forth by 3 seconds? What
Like
what happened to the fugitive?
I like the idea that the fugitive isn't like ends up in the bad end of this because he just kind of got caught there. Like,
Yeah,
because like in the process of that's a time creature. What does it do if it gets you? Let's see.
What if he's just like a hologram? What if he's basically like a hologram? He's just sort of
So
stuck, in this corner of a room or something.
okay, yeah.
Okay,
So he's trapped. The fugitive is trapped on the family farm.
trapped in time on the ranch, appears basically like a hologram. Okay,
Remember a Shard in the X Force? Like she was a what's his face is the guy with the M on his face, Bishop's sister from the future, and she was a hologram for a while in X
no,
Factor.
didn't read any Bishop or Cable issues. I didn't read any '90s X-Men, so that's not true, completely true. But we can talk about that another time.
Okay, anyway,
So
sorry.
okay, so this fugitive is trapped in time. Okay, so now we've got the time cop who's here, and we've got Marshal Daigo and his deputies, right?
Yeah.
So are his deputies, are they all witnessing this? Is this, or does the time cop take David Daigo aside?
Well, I mean, I would think that just David Daigo witnesses this, and as far as the deputies are concerned, maybe it's like, well,
What,
the
what if
fugitive
they're
got away. You know,
what if they're holograms too?
the deputies.
Yeah.
I mean, he does work a job, like doesn't he? He's actually a U.S. Marshal, so they're
Well, he
real.
is, but it would almost make sense that everybody who's not a temporal anomaly, or it becomes a hologram or something.
Huh.
But no, that's fine. I mean, he's got deputies. I don't know
Right.
if these are his only deputies.
But I mean, my thought was just that they're, for all intents and purposes, the fugitive got away, and now he has a hologram of this fugitive who could have a change of heart. I don't
That's
know what
cool.
the
All
fugitive
right.
was doing before.
Well, let's do it like that. So, okay. So I just wanted to know if the deputies were affected or not. But okay, so it's him, it's deputies. Now we have a time cop. So,
So the
what are
time
elements? Our elements are someone has a change of heart, insert a place of worship into the story. Let's concentrate on that. There's a revelation. The revelation is the time cop tells him, like, you're a temporal anomaly. Your parents aren't even real, or is that? I mean, is that the revelation? That
that
would be
works.
the obvious one.
Yeah, that is the obvious one. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Like on
Okay.
because I keep yeah. Well, what if the a place of worship?
Well, I mean, to me, it seems like if you're shown definitive proof that there are these timelines and stuff, that would
Yeah,
have an effect on your sense of religion, right?
right. I don't know.
Well, what if we just start? What if we just say
Talk about
Rather than saying that he's a temporal anomaly, just say
Or
it
you're saying
reveals that David Daigo's parents aren't real, or they're an
right?
anomaly.
I thought. I mean, that was what they were. They're
Yeah,
not real, but and he's an
or
anomaly.
are impossible. I like that phrasing. His parents are impossible.
Right.
Impossible. What does
They're
that
like
mean?
he's a like it's a paradox as to how he's existing, right?
Yeah,
And so,
paradox. And so this is, well, what is David Daigo's? This makes us wonder what's David Daigo's religion?
um, doesn't
Is
say it
he?
necessarily has to be his religion.
Well, it
It's
doesn't have to be,
maybe it's the
but it
fugitive.
naturally would be, right? Like, wouldn't it be?
What if it's the fugitives? What if the fugitives like, well, at least go to my funeral,
What,
or something like
is he
maybe.
communicating with people? But
Well, he's maybe he was some time professor, and
well, look, it doesn't. I don't know if we want to spend too much time on the fugitive, but quick, decide: is it the
I
fugitive
just
or is it David Daigo whose religion's at question,
is there why is it a religion in question? Why is it just a
or
question of
place of worship? Just pick something.
well, I'm saying a
The
funeral
funeral?
is a good place, to
Okay,
induct.
so it's a funeral service, a memorial service or something. Okay,
Yeah,
but we go to the fugitive's memorial service. Okay.
maybe the fugitive. See, and that's where I was going to go. Maybe the fugitive had more reason to be there than maybe because it's seemingly coincidental, but he was following up on some temporal energies or some aspect of that, and
I
that's
don't
why.
I don't
And that's
understand
why
why anybody. I don't understand why anybody would go. Why the cop would go to the memorial service,
because
and I don't know
there's
why there would be a memorial service. He's a hologram. They haven't even.
but
It's
no,
not like that
well,
would
as
happen
far
in
as
this
people
issue.
no, you have a memorial service because you people think you're dead, So if if the cops tell everybody that you died in some explosion or something, whatever
Well, is the
explanation.
fugitive okay? How about this? Let's just say we're not keeping within the time limit. This is the fugitive. How about the
It,
fugitive
I,
was trying? How about we just say the fugitive was trying to make a memorial service?
was trying to make a memorial service.
Yeah, he escaped from prison because he wanted to go to, a memorial service for his mom or something. I don't see any way it flows here. I just don't. I don't see why anybody would go to a memorial service
Well,
here.
I was saying because it would be a memorial service of the fugitive, right? And the idea that people think the fugitive is dead, and the time and Daigo is trying
There's
to
so
find
many
more
steps.
information about what the fugitive was doing, that the fugitive was set up, and somehow was trying to clear his name.
Okay,
Maybe he's not a
I
bad.
feel like we're. I feel like that's a huge step from this issue, but okay. There's
Oh,
a
but
lot of. Okay, let's go with it. We
giving
got to go with
giving a
it. We got
little
to
bit
go with
of
it.
like character to the fugitive instead of him just being like escape con. Like what did he do? Why
I
was
feel
he
like
there?
I don't know. To
What
me, the
brought him there?
fugitive's kind of a side character, but that doesn't matter. But okay, we'll do that. We'll
Oh,
make the
see?
character a bigger deal. Um,
Well, he becomes something more relevant,
That's okay. If you want to go out, that's fine.
and
We
helps
have to make a decision. We have to
and
make a
is
decision.
part of
That's what
is
was brought up. That's fine. We're doing it.
I was just saying, but is part of the mystery behind, David,
Eh,
right?
I hate it. I hate it, but we're gonna go with it.
He's just part of the mystery. That's
No,
all.
I absolutely hate it. I hate it. I hate it, but we're gonna go with it. Okay. Okay. We were running out of time. We have to make decisions.
All right, all right.
Okay. So no, what you let's not. You don't have to convince me. We just
No,
need to make a
I
decision.
know. We've got time.
Okay. Issue 3. Hit the clock. Oh wait. Well, let's just say what the elements are.
Oh,
A
sorry.
relationship is consummated. Insert a character element. Insert a character's phobia into the story, and setting element. Insert an odor into the story. All right. Hit the clock. Seems like we were down 5 seconds real quick. Yeah. Let's start that again.
All right, here
Okay.
we go.
Okay, so they went to a memorial service in the last issue, but I feel like they must be at the memorial service in this one or something. I mean,
Okay,
but what do we? Okay, so
because
if the
of the
fugitive is
relationship.
if the fugitive is actually important, what's the fugitive's? Why is this fugitive important?
Well, the fugitive's motives for going to his house are what's important, and who else knows that information? Him consummate. He does have a girlfriend, so
He does. We decided he has a girlfriend.
yeah, that's in his bio. He has a rancher girlfriend, so
Okay.
that doesn't have to start off the story. It just can be in there somewhere. So maybe he takes his
Well,
girlfriend
this is.
to the
Oh,
theater.
what if this is okay? What if it's like this is an old girlfriend? What? Because he just went back to the family ranch, right?
Right,
Maybe he
right.
doesn't live there. This was a coincidence they went back. So he meets up with an old girlfriend and they get back together.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
What if this fugitive is actually from that area, like related in some way?
Okay.
A character's phobia. Well, when is okay? This time cop though is still around, right? He didn't die in the first issue.
Yeah, the time clock's still here. Yeah.
Oh, well, we needed him to die so that we got the time blade, so that we became the time blade.
He needs to show him how the time blade works.
No, remember he doesn't show him. He's got to figure it out.
He doesn't completely show him,
Right, right.
but he's got to show him some of it. Daigo gets back together with old girl uh, while at the memorial
This is the
service.
perfect place to be hopping into the other dimensions. They got this old girlfriend, and suddenly, like, what if they'd never broken up? What if he'd never left the family? All those aspects of his past, like,
Oh, you're right. Totally. Well, so okay. That's actually the story. The story is him deciding to get back together with her
mhm,
because the time cop shows him. He's like this person's very important. It's like,
mhm,
what? I broke up with her when we were 15. You know,
yeah.
and he's like, well, but this is how things should have turned out. Something like that.
Well, is that really going to happen since he shouldn't exist?
Well, he doesn't exist in this timeline,
Okay, so it's just this timeline that he doesn't.
but there's other timelines where he does exist. And it's like, well, you see, if things were proper, you two would be together. That sort of thing.
Okay.
Maybe. Well, okay, but
Yeah,
the point is
yeah,
that the time cop has to meets with old girlfriend while at memorial service, but the time cop shows alternate timelines where they were together.
right, right.
Time
Potential
cop takes him
lives they
to alternate timelines.
had. Him or them?
I don't know why would he bring both of them?
Ah,
Alternate timelines where they're still together. And again, we've got to remember that the thing about the timelines is that they're different timelines. They're kind of like they have thematic. They're the same relationships, but they're thematically different, right? So,
mhm,
like he goes and they're all alligators or something.
right.
They're this other timeline. They're all in Depression era America or something,
Right.
right? It's like those old. Remember that's what we talked about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, so I'm just trying to think of how do we get one that has to do with an odor?
They all work at a
The entire world,
recycling plant.
like yeah, the entire state, whatever state they're in, is a landfill or something. Like that was their job.
Well, it could be something like Agent Orange, or not Agent Orange, but some sort of mustard gas or something.
I like the
It could be
land.
World War One. They could be in the trenches
I like
of
the.
World War One.
Why can't it just be a landfill? They all live in a
Okay,
land.
fine. They all live in a world that's a landfill. Okay,
No, not the whole world, but where they
it's
are.
like a dystopian. Okay,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they visit a dystopian timeline where
trash.
everything's a landfill. Okay,
Not everything, just their state. Where they are is a landfill.
where they live in a landfill. Okay,
Yes. Like instead of
and
all one
maybe
state.
the phobia is garbage, a fear of garbage.
Oh yeah, somebody's phobia. What if they go to a spider planet? Somebody's got a fear of spider. That would be horrifying.
Okay, fine. There's this and a spider planet. And just to be clear, they do get together at the end, right?
Yeah, yeah, because it's their relationship is consummated.
Okay. Okay, this is interesting. This is not going as smoothly as the last couple ones we've done.
No.
But it's interesting. Okay.
So now he's got a girl. He's got a time cop, and he's trying to follow the breadcrumbs of his existence, right?
Well, we gotta wait till we pick our random elements,
Well, no, I'm
dude.
saying at this point in the story, like at the end of issue 3, before issue 4, that's where we're at. Because we've only got this is halfway through his entire arc.
No, I'm trying to pick out the elements here. Sorry, I'm not paying attention.
Sorry. So
Okay. Okay, so the plot element for the next one is something is destroyed. Character element is insert a character's disability into the story.
I'm a hologram.
Well, that's does he talk? What's the
Yeah, he's a hologram, right?
He's a talking hologram? Okay.
Oh,
Insert a place of
I didn't
leisure.
realize he had no. Your idea was him just stuck, like really stuck.
Yeah, that's what I was. That was my idea, but okay.
I was just thinking his body was trapped, like in time. Like
well, maybe he's like a GIF. He's like a GIF. He's kind of reliving the same thing over and over again.
No, I thought that he was like still functioning as a person, just stuck in this holographic state because his matter is diffused across.
Oh yeah, that's not how I was imagining it, but okay.
Yeah, that's how
maybe go that way. I was imagining it'd be like at most a GIF where he's sort of repeating the same short action over and over again, and he can't be touched because he's out of sync with time.
See, that's totally why I was thinking of Shard, who was a hologram running around.
Okay.
Okay, so we had a different concept of the holographic person.
We did. Okay, we got new elements here. Plot element, something is destroyed. Character element, insert a character's disability into the story. Setting element, insert a place of leisure into the story. And hit the clock.
All right. Here we go.
So something is destroyed. Let's just destroy the fugitive. No, 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 no. You know what? Actually, this would be a good time for maybe the time cop to be killed.
Yes. That would make sense. A place of leisure. You know, I mean, we could start off, after they're consummating their relationship.
Well, why don't we just like okay? What just happened here? They just met. Okay, so the time cop
So, like, in my mind, they were
is the time
following.
cop. I'm just imagining the time like they're having sex. The and then like after they're done, it's sort of like the time cop bursts in the room and is like, "Good, you did it. Good job. We're getting closer to bringing things back in line." And then, but I like the idea of him just like dying in a coffee shop just because somebody randomly drops like a I don't know like a shard like a broken like somebody drops a cup of coffee and a shard of that coffee cuts uh his neck or something and he starts bleeding out.
I have a point. Oh, no, wait. Like what was that? Those movies where it was like
Yeah, yeah,
final.
yeah, yeah. Those movies where death was coming. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
some
yeah.
really yeah.
Strange coincidence train of events. Yeah, okay. I can be down with that. Like a
Okay, so okay, so
horribly convoluted, simple death for the time cop.
Tiger and girlfriend finish consummating their love, and they go to a coffee shop with Time Cop, who is killed by an unlikely coincidence. Okay, and then Daigo steals the time blade.
Oh,
The time bland.
land.
Okay. Okay, so wait, so okay, so the guy dies. This is a U.S. Marshal, of course. So it's not like so. Actually, the time blade would be put into evidence or something. What would you normally do with? What would be logical for the character? What would if this character died coincidentally? They call an ambulance, but they'd have the sword.
Yeah, I mean,
Would he
he
put
just
in?
takes the sword and it's like, oh, that's my sword. Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
he doesn't have to explain. He's the cop.
okay. So is the time cop taken away by an ambulance? I mean, that would be the natural thing to do.
Yeah,
They don't know this guy. They don't know
true.
this guy from Dick. So, uh, so that would be taken away by ambulance. Daigo steals Time Blade, or it's not steal, takes Time Blade.
Takes, yeah. Maybe.
Uh, and then something immediately some other danger has to appear, before they can. I mean, are they riding to the hospital? Do they? I'm just imagining
Yeah,
the guy like
I mean,
spurting blood on the
he
ground, and
wouldn't
they
just be like, all right, later. I mean, he would follow him. However they got there, they'd be following the ambulance or in
but
the
they
ambulance.
would follow the ambulance, but something happens on the way to the hospital, so they never get there,
Right,
and they have to deal with a temporal situation.
right.
So what is it? Do they start looping him through the same block? It's like they go through a stoplight, and then it's like, oh, wait a second, we were just on this block or something.
Oh, what if it's like the reason that he dies is he never makes it to the hospital?
Oh, I like that. So they get stuck in a time loop on one block. They're just stuck on the same
Right,
block over and over again.
yeah.
Okay. They get stuck on a time loop.
Man, that'd be a real depressing story, Like, ultimately, there's nothing he could do for him.
Well, what would be interesting is that, well, I mean, they're not riding on the ambulance with him because they're not related to the guy. Well, but he's a marshal, so he could
Yeah,
maybe push his
he's
way in.
a marshal, so I see him, here, take my car. I'm going to go in the ambulance with it.
This could be really interesting because the ambulance people are going to be like, "What the hell is going on?"
Sure.
And so he ultimately uses the time blade to fix it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, in some
Like maybe the
nondescript way.
last thing that the time cop shows him is how to break the time loop, and then he doesn't make it.
Oh, so the time. You mean the time cop is alive, and I mean while he's dying, he says this.
Right. Yeah. So
Got it.
he basically shows him how to use it before he dies, but
Okay, got it.
still doesn't make it.
dying time cop. Whoops. Tells David how to resolve the loop. I can't spell. The loop
Loop.
that dies before reaching the hospital. Okay. Okay. I think that's our first really interesting storyline that we've come up with. Okay. For this.
Okay. See, I just think that we had a different take on the hologram thing, and that screwed us up because your opinion of the fugitive is different than mine.
Well, yeah, and the fugitive just sort of dropped out of this.
Well, but not if depending on how this next issue goes. All right.
We'll see because we can bring the we can bring that we can bring the fugitive back into play if we want to. So okay. Yeah, I guess I don't know Shard. That's my problem. Oh, this is going to be a problem here. Okay, so an offer is made and is either accepted or rejected as a plot element. Introduce a mentor. I feel like we just de-introduced a mentor.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. And here we go. Insert a character's workplace into the story.
Hey, we're back to cop work. All right.
Maybe it could be somebody else. It could be his girlfriend's workplace.
I guess it's true. Out on the ranch.
Hit the clock, Terrance.
All right, here
5 minutes.
We go.
Okay, an offer is made and is either accepted or rejected. I'm thinking this is where we bring in other temporal agents. People that are trying to manipulate him, right?
And this is where I think that we talk about the fugitive.
Okay, let's figure out the fugitive. Fine. But what's the offer? What would be this offer?
It can be the other time agents, but perhaps the people that are trying to eliminate him. I can get you out of this holographic state if you.
So the evil time agents
Yes.
cut a deal with the fugitive. Okay.
Yes.
And one of those things is he's probably going to stay at... Wait, cut a deal with the holographic fugitive. It occurs to me they could actually give him like light powers or something, or give him he could sort of stay as a hologram or whatever.
Yeah.
Deal with the holographic. Cut a deal as long as he kills.
As long as he eliminates,
Eliminates. Well, is it David or his girlfriend?
Maybe
his girlfriend.
I was going to say maybe they're supposed to like make a baby that's John Connor.
So that's yeah. So it's actually the anomaly they're dealing with here is they're trying to kill her, not so much him.
Yeah. So.
Okay, as long as he eliminates Daigo's girlfriend. Okay. Okay, who's the mentor? What if it's like the girlfriend's father is the former mentor of David Daigo?
Is it too much of a twist to say that the fugitive, because this goes back to my idea that the fugitive actually is trying to figure out what this time stuff is in the first place, and it's not just simple fugitive. But the fugitive then is like, hey, I understand more about this time blade that you have than you do, and maybe I can help.
So he's like a fake mentor. Okay.
Well, no, maybe he's a real mentor because now he has ties to this evil group, and he's in the middle.
Oh, okay. Let's go with it.
He's an unknown, right? He could go either way.
He accepts offers to teach Daigo how to use Time Blade. Okay.
Because all he has to do is, get rid of Daigo's girlfriend.
So he just has to get in there, and this is the way that he's trying to get in with them.
So maybe he just
So let's just say he's a fugitive. Why is he a fugitive? What, did he kill somebody?
Well, that's what I was saying. He did something, but and that led him to Daigo's branch, but it had something to do with this time stuff. I don't know, like he stole something from some particle accelerator or something. He blew up some particle accelerator to prove something, and he's like Turns out
So
he's
he's a
actually,
scientist. The fugitive is a
yeah,
scientist.
he could be some scientist. He could be some,
Fugitive is a physicitive, a
some
physicist.
conspiracy theorist. You know,
A
he could come off.
conspiracy theorist physicist?
Yeah, he could come off as a complete whack job, but it's like everything was
A mad
true.
scientist. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Fugitive is a mad scientist. Okay, so he takes him back to his lab. That would be a place
Oh,
of work.
workplace.
It'd be a
Yeah,
place of work. What?
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Okay.
Mad scientist takes them back to his lab. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. Maybe, sort of. Okay. And offer. Okay, so we've already got all the elements in there. What? How do we resolve this? He tries to kill the girlfriend, and I mean, you want this fugitive to be a major character.
I
So,
know the fugitive just seemed like a perfect breadcrumb to follow for Daigo to figure out why his parents weren't real. To
well,
me,
what if it's like, okay, let's try to bring the power of the sword in here.
yeah,
So we know it shows these explore. It helps you explore relationships because what you can do is you can go to different timelines. It's sort of like I'm suspicious of this guy. What is my relationship like in other timelines with him?
there you go. Yeah,
So they do that. They explore. Okay,
yeah,
Daigo explores other timelines with the fugitive. Hmm.
and you could reveal his dual nature in that.
Then discovers his dual nature.
I mean, but what does that really tell you about the timeline you're in right now? It's like, are you going to betray me or not? It's like, well, this is the timeline where I don't betray you, or it isn't.
Well, but yeah,
I know I betrayed you in all those other timelines, but that's different from this one.
okay. Well, so and the discovers his dual nature. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing, but I think the idea was that there was some level of consistency in these
Right.
character relationships from timeline to timeline.
When
But
we were all squirrels.
okay, we have
That's
no
squirrel
resolution. Okay, so that's where the so that's where the okay, so that's where that issue ends. All right, well, issue 6 is the next one. This is the ultimate, the last one. And let's see. Oh, okay. This is gonna. The plot element is an apparent resolution is shown to be false.
Oh.
Okay, let's see here. The character element is introduce a rival. Oh, and this will be easy. The setting element is insert time into the story. So, all right.
The setting is given.
Yeah. So let's and the fact this is our issue 6, this means a resolution. There has to be some sort of resolution. But
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
totally upend it at the end or something. And then
Right.
introduce a rival. We've already kind of introduced a rival, but maybe there's another rival that appears. So let's hit the clock.
All right.
We said we were going to have a 5-minute revision period, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So okay. So this is great. Okay. So he discovers by using the time blade that this guy is like not his friend in most timelines. So he's even more suspicious. So he
So,
comes back, and then maybe it turns out that the guy really wasn't gonna betray him. He was just using the time folks to try to get him back to the lab so that he could turn himself, or maybe he uses the laboratory techniques to turn him back into a non-hologram,
right.
and and that and then he decides he doesn't want to betray uh Daigo, but he doesn't. But Daigo betrays him. I don't know. What do you think? What about the idea that once they're at the lab, he instructs David Daigo and his girlfriend on how to transform him back to a physical state?
That could be a thing. Who's the rival? That's where I was kind of
Well,
thinking.
but I just want to nail down something. Can we say that that's
Okay.
one?
Okay.
Okay,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
okay. So, but yeah, who is the rival? Brains. What are some ideas?
Because I was thinking, what if the rival ends up being like his girlfriend from another timeline or something? In
Oh, interesting.
another timeline, she took the time blade, and so therefore he is evil girlfriend, or it could be him from another
That,
timeline with the time blade. Or is he the
well,
only version of him that exists in every time? No, he can't be.
well, I like the idea that there's so yeah, so they find the rival in one of the timelines, and what if it's a? How about this? What if they find a character that occurs in all the other timelines, but they don't even know in this timeline,
Hmm.
and it's something like it's the
It's his
mailman or
brother.
something. It's like the
Oh,
mailman or something. It's
oh,
like somebody totally innocuous, you know.
it can't just be like okay. Thinking it could be his long lost brother or sister or his stepdad.
Well, but I like the idea that it's somebody who doesn't exist in this timeline
Yeah.
normally, in the way that it does in the other ones. Whereas, like if it's a relation, then it kind of feels like it's going to be that relationship, no matter what. In the other, if it's a brother or something.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Um, but I like it appearing. It's like it's just somebody. It's the person who's taking care of the cat at the lab because there's a lab cat.
Yes, of course. um,
Or somebody who works. It's somebody who used to work for the fugitive.
well, or it could be. Oh, I guess we're at the fugitives lab, so that makes the most sense.
But this
Yes.
is all in the hometown, so I mean
Or it could
the
be like
area.
what if it's his partner, like his like do marshals have
His
partners?
his Marty McFly.
You know, is a well, it's just like would it be like a deputy, like a marshal part? His cop
Oh,
partner.
oh, oh, one of his deputies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, do they pair up like that, or is it? I don't know. I don't know exactly how they work. They always seem like lone wolves.
well, in the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, I think Tommy Lee Jones had a whole unit working with him. Right.
right, right.
I'm assuming that's more realistic than Walker, but I don't know.
Oh, what if it is like? Well, I guess it says a rival, but like,
Or Walker's a
what if all the bad time cops or whatever are like his unit in another world? I don't know.
well, you don't like the idea that it's somebody who doesn't know. I guess is
Well,
what
what
you're
are
saying.
they? Well, how are they a rival? Like, if it's just random
I
person.
just it's somebody who just it's like they go. The point is they go to these parallel timelines. They
Mhm.
have this person who's like this person's a major player in all these other timelines, but we don't know anybody in our timeline like this. But they get
Uh,
introduced in this issue.
okay.
That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. So it
Yeah.
could just be an innocuous character. It could be like an
Okay.
inspector.
So yeah, in his yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
So it could be like so who is it? Is it like a maybe
Well,
it's
I
like
think
the electricity the meter man or something.
yeah. Somebody at the whatever at the fugitives workshop, whatever lab.
Well, like
Igor.
the janitor. It's the fucking janitor. The janitor.
Igor.
No, it's the janitor. The janitor.
Okay.
So you got to be innocuous.
Okay.
The janitor. Okay,
Did we get?
arrival from other timelines, but is unknown to Daigo in this timeline. Appears as a janitor um, at the fugitives lab. Okay, so
You had a resolution, but then it was a false resolution.
well, that the resolution was um, that they're expecting the fugitive to betray them because he has in every other timeline.
Right.
But once he's turned physical again, he doesn't betray them.
Right.
In fact, maybe he gets killed by the rifle.
I was gonna say, but Daigo, I thought was gonna betray him.
Well,
That
yeah, whatever that. What is that? Yeah, but what would that look like? Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it's basically was the
Oh, so he assumes that he's going to be betrayed by the guy. So he in
that he's
fact,
gonna, and so that would be killing the girlfriend, right? Would be the
yeah, that would be the way that. Well, that would be the way that the fugitive was supposed to kill the girlfriend, right?
right. But
So
instead, of killing the
And
girlfriend, he's
maybe
had.
that happened. What do you think that happens in every other timeline? Like he kills the girlfriend?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what it is. He's expecting to kill a girlfriend, and maybe the whole thing is in they've been doing this hologram thing, but they decide that they're not gonna change him back. That while they and I don't know if they're smart enough to do this, but they're gonna try to destroy the hologram rather than bring it back to physical form. And so the guy and maybe the fugitive confesses. He says it's like, you know what? I had made a deal with these other time agents, and they said if I killed your girlfriend that they'd bring me back, but you're bringing me back anyway. I'm not going to kill your girlfriend. But it's
Hmm.
like, oh, okay. Well, we're going to kill. Sorry, we already killed you. You know.
So okay, so well then, okay,
But I don't know how that plays out. I don't know how that works.
yeah, yeah, that's a. I don't know.
But,
Do we? But we never get to the answer of like why he exists, why David Dyko exists, or what's wrong with him.
well, we don't have to. This is a whole
Okay,
series, right? This is just the
okay,
first.
all right.
That's a mystery. That's
So the
like
mystery was
that's
why. So the overarching concept is why does his girlfriend need to die? Then is that
yeah.
it? Okay,
Well, but does somebody
you're
else? But does
saving
the
it.
rival? Does the janitor kill the girlfriend? Maybe not. Um,
Oh,
okay, but okay. While okay, from other timelines, uh, David expects a fugitive to kill girlfriend, but the fugitive confesses the plan with the time agents. So I think while being transformed back to physical form, um, I think the janitor kills him.
the janitor kills him. Well, I guess he does work there, so he'd be like, "That's the guy."
And maybe but I mean, because like the janitor, maybe a time agent, maybe the janitor accidentally kills him, makes it look like an accident or something. Oh no, I stuck my mop in the middle of you while you were transforming back to physical form. I'm sorry. I had no idea. Um, and says he won't kill
What
the
if,
girl.
yeah, no, what if this rival, and it's, what if it's revealed that this rival, like, set up the convoluted events that led to the time cop's death or something, like,
Well, we can reveal that in a different issue. But the point
yeah.
is what does
Or
how
what
do
if he
we
did,
end this story?
or
I
what if,
think that the janitor accidentally in quotes.
well, yeah, he sets things up and he's like a puzzle master or whatever of sorts, and sets up these mousetrap, like, chain of events because he knows the timelines,
Yeah.
so I like
Okay.
that. As a villain,
So
that's cool. So,
well, I think this is the good ending. This is a reasonable ending uh to a 6-story arc. So because it's a
you're just happy
cliffhanger.
you get to kill the fugitive. Who you didn't like to start with.
The what?
You're just happy you got to kill the fugitive you didn't like to start with. I know how
Well,
to.
he turned out to be an important character. I don't think important characters have to exist forever. Okay, we got a 5-minute revision period.
All right, let's
Do we want it
go.
to be 5 minutes or do we want it to be 10 minutes? Oh, five.
Let it be five. I've,
Okay.
I've, I don't know. So, the overarching story from the beginning. What is the, what is driving? Like, there's something funky about him and time. Time Cop comes back to make sure that he gets together with his girlfriend,
I think
and
issue 2 is the
right. I mean,
no,
see, that's the story. I mean, overarching the entire sixth thing arc is
Yeah, his girlfriend. Yeah. So I kind of feel like issues 2 and 3 are the problematic ones. The
Okay.
fugitive is trapped at the time ranch, appears basically like a hologram. Time cop reveals that David Daigo's parents are impossible to paradox. Then they go to the fugitive's memorial service. That's a big time jump there. I feel like I feel like that's the beginning of issue 3.
Okay.
I feel like we want to put something else in issue 2 to fill it out. Like, why does the time cop reveal? I mean, what this issue 2 is the issue for me here. What's going on with? I really think goes to we can cut this part out because it happens in issue 3. The real question is what happens here. The fugitive's trapped in time on the ranch and becomes basically like a hologram, but this is a walking, talking hologram.
Right. Right.
Uh,
It's a
so
disembodied ghost-like body spirit. Yeah.
so does the fugitive go on the run some more, or what's the
No,
deal?
he's trapped. I imagined him trapped in like space, really, but his body is trapped.
But he's
And
not anymore because we've had him go to the lab and all sorts of things
well,
later
that's
on.
something that he is revealed that he knows how to do later because the other time people. He doesn't know how to do that at this point.
We don't have any other time people. Oh, that only when they cut the
The
deal
day.
with them.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So the
And
deal
that's
actually, so
he
the
actually
deal that they
learns
cut with
more
them
of
is
his.
they give
Yeah,
him motion, the ability to move.
yeah. Well, he gets information from them. That's why he makes the deal,
Yeah.
right? Is because he's not genuinely a bad guy. He's
So
trying to
this
find
is just
answers.
they're leaving. So what does I look? This is a weird situation. You just went through these weird time loops. You meet a time cop. You now have a hologram sitting at this ranch. Why are you just leaving it at the ranch, unobserved?
I mean, what else can you do with it? He can't go anywhere or
Well,
do
but
or
why would
interact
you
with
go to
it.
the memorial? This is the thing.
So
You
this
wouldn't
was
go to the memorial service, which is going to be like a couple weeks away, right? A week or two away. I mean, it's not going to be right away. So he has to lie. Basically, he
what
lies
if
and
it's I
says
mean, what
the
if
guy
it's not,
died.
a official memorial service? I mean, it's like it could be, like,
Just walk through with me, man. Just walk through with me. What do you do? You have this hologram here. What do you do after you find this hologram there? And you've got a time cop who explains stuff to you, but you'd have to lie. Your report has to say he dies. There's no remains.
right.
Do you lie about going back to your family ranch? There's a whole bunch of lying involved here. There's a whole bunch of time that goes by. We got a good week or two that goes by before this memorial service happens without a body.
Not necessarily. Not I mean, you can create an event that leads to a lot of people arriving at a place with a lot of flowers for a memorial service next day. I mean, that could be what he was running from. He blew up a lab and a church or something, and everybody like
Well,
they
no, that's fine. It's not his memorial service then. It's other
okay.
people's
So
memorial
then
service.
so then that make it that then, yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be weeks away. That's all I'm saying. It can't. We can
Well,
be.
but but I still I don't understand. I mean that you do agree that there's a lot of lying involved here, right?
Oh yes, yes.
Is there
There's
motivations
something
here?
that
What are the
there's
motivations for like why
It's a
why would you
supernatural thing that he cannot explain. If the time cop says you're
but why
part
would you say that he's dead as opposed to just got away?
of, okay, he got away. So then it's not his memorial. Then
It's not his memorial service. Okay, that you see that makes sense to me. Okay.
okay,
Um
all right.
okay, at memorial service for victims
Killed in his
of okay, so
pursuit.
a memorial service for the victims of fugitives crime.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Okay, but still, like, okay, so the fugitive is trapped in the time. Okay, we're getting another 5 minutes here.
All
Okay,
right, your
start it
second.
up again. I think like fugitive is trapped in time on the ranch appears basically like a so this is an important issue to me. Is that this is the issue where the time cop talks to David about the situation,
Right.
and he has to. So he's got a. So and we got what's happened to the. So the deputies. Okay, the hologram. I still
They,
feel like that's a big plot point.
here, start from here. they followed a fugitive who for some reason was going towards David's house. You know, this is a crazy conspiracy theorist like guy. You know, he's off the rails. He just killed a dozen people at some place. You know, by blowing it up. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so they get there. He vanishes without a trace, as far as all things are concerned. Right. And to anybody who
Oh, so
is
they don't know that he's a hologram.
right, who anyone who
So he
isn't,
just escaped.
yeah, who anyone who's
So
not intimately involved with the story, he just vanished, so he got away.
got it. That's good. Okay. So they don't know. So
Right.
basically they're just saying the perp got away.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it's like we're still trying to track him, but they've got an aside here where the time cop takes him aside, tells him it's like, this is the paradox. Your parents don't exist. You're not even really supposed to exist on this timeline. Let's
Mhm.
take a travel through alternate timelines and see what's supposed to be happening or something
Yeah.
like that.
There you go.
Okay, so that's the issue there. So the uh, time cop takes David on a tour of other timelines. Okay, this is all making sense now to me. Okay, um, okay, and so the time cop takes him to the. So okay, so you get basically it's issue 2 where we lay out the fundamental theme
Mhm.
of the story.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one's a cliffhanger, then we get the fundamental theme, then we get more examples of the theme because they look at like alternate timelines where he's with his girlfriend,
Yeah.
and then the time cop dies in issue 4, and then the evil the fugitive now comes back on the scenes and this is all making perfect sense to me storytelling wise. So they teach him how to use the time blade. Okay, these are great. These are good cliffhangers and stuff. And then we get the janitor at the very end who accidentally kills the fugitive by sticking a mop in him while he's materializing.
Now,
All
if they
right.
see, all right.
Now, what do you think? What else? Any others?
Yeah,
You got
no, no,
two?
I think that works. Um, why do they want? I don't know. Part of me is like, why are they trying to kill? Like, do we get an answer why they want to kill the girlfriend? Why they, do we need to answer that? Do we
Well, I think like you said, it's kind of a. Well, I think this is
like?
the thing. It's like they want to kill her instead of him.
Yeah.
Or maybe they do want to kill him. I can't remember from the original brainstorm. It's kind of weird.
Well, the original brainstorm was that he just didn't exist. I wasn't supposed to be existing, and so somebody has done something to the timeline in order for him to exist. So him and her together is a whole other thing, So who knows? Like maybe someone's manipulating that timeline, but you don't. I mean, like his origin can
But,
be still kind of unknown and
but
mysterious.
I think somebody wants him to be alive. I think that's the thing. They want him to be alive as an anomaly in this timeline.
Right? Yeah. Somebody has set it up
So
so that
that's
he.
why they want to kill the girlfriend because that brings him more in line with the other timelines.
Oh, okay.
That's how I was thinking of it.
Okay, that
So they're
works.
actually trying to make him more unique. But why? I don't know.
Wait, how does that make him more unique?
Because it doesn't line up with the relationships in the other timelines.
Oh, okay, okay. I see what you're
So
saying.
basically, this is like they're creating a corrupt version of this
Okay.
guy. In this, they're taking away they're changing the relationships.
Yeah, write that down in one of these.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, that's that solves the one like hanging bit for me. Is
Time agents are trying to make this David Digo. What was the phrasing I used? Corrupted. A corrupt version. A corrupted version relative to all the other timelines. Okay. So they want to keep him alive, but change all of his relationships. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. I think we got something.
there's a lot of fun things you can do with this character. He could
I
just
think
be
so.
like a refugee from a different timeline. You know,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
he's a refugee from another timeline. Really, he'd be a fake
Well,
clone.
that's a question there. Yeah, it's like, was he? Yeah, is he from a? Was he taken from another timeline and put into this one?
Yeah,
That's yeah. Huh. And does that mean is there's a missing David Digo in another timeline? That'd be kind of
right,
interesting.
right. So like all
Huh.
sorts of.
Yeah, interesting.
I know we
All
didn't
right.
do enough of the other worlds. Like
The
that's
what?
his power is the other worlds. Like, but
But we used it at least. I mean, there's other powers, I guess, with the
yeah,
blade. But yeah, you're right. It's kind of well. Yeah, we need to figure out ways to incorporate that.
yeah.
Incorporate the time blade in every issue, right? I
I mean,
suppose.
I like him as a character. Like the idea of him. Like it's a very like Texas Rangery kind of like figuring out the mystery. And fighting it, and not having to do with I know I could. It's like I could see this as like a CW show, like
But
where you don't
they
spend a lot on special effects.
well, but they've got well, it's just like a sitcom, right? I mean, that was the whole thing. Is it's like we're making those sitcom things kind of a reality. Those alternate sitcom things, like this the dream episode.
Yeah,
Um, but I think we use the time blade. Uh, we use it in the first one. We use it in the second one. We use it in the third one. We use it in the fourth one. We use it in the fifth one. I think we do not use it in the sixth one. We don't use it in the sixth episode. So we do use it in everything. Yeah. Anyway. But anyway, if we decide to go forward with this character in some fashion, we can work that out.
yeah.
All right, but anyway, the point is we're at the end of our episode here. It's a
Yes, we
little
are.
over. We're not too far off. It's a little over an hour. All
Yeah.
right, so what's our script here? So that's it for this episode. Sorry, that's your line. You go start off, Terrance.
So that's it for this episode.
But we want to hear from you, true conceivers.
What did we get right?
What did we get wrong?
Leave us a comment or email us at where is it?
heroicpod@gmail.com, and we'll respond to your feedback on upcoming episodes. Don't forget to show your support. Share, subscribe, or just hit that like button.
It all helps.
And that's a wrap. Keep on hero smithing, true conceivers.
We'll see you next time on Heroic Origins.
Thop!